Well, here at home, there is a big announcement here this morning. State investment in training for high-tech jobs in the growing semiconductor industry. This is the biggest investment of its kind to expand education at multiple universities around the state. So joining me now is Amar Basu. He's an electrical and computer engineering professor at Wayne State University. Professor Basu, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for being here. Great to be here.
So Wayne State has a state-of-the-art semiconductor laboratory. Tell us a little bit about that and the growing industry.
Absolutely. So Wayne State does have a very unique nanofabrication facility. It's a 5,000 square foot clean room. We also have strengths in the areas of semiconductor design and manufacturing and electronics. And one of Wayne State's strengths is that 3/4 of our graduates actually end up going and working in the local high-tech industry. And so we're very excited to be part of this very important effort.
So the MEDC has come out and said this is going to be a $3.6 million investment to try to coordinate education, not only with Wayne State University, but also the University of Michigan, Oakland University, and Washtenaw Community College. When you talk about that kind of connection with education programs, what do you think the impact is going to be with turning out more students with those engineering degrees and being able to head into this field?
Well, I think the impact is going to be tremendous, especially for the Detroit area being an automotive capital of the world. If you think about a modern car these days, it has over 1,000 electronic chips, and these chips are assembled into these small modules called printed circuit boards, and each car typically has hundreds of these. So who makes these? Who designs these? In the history of semiconductor manufacturing, we used to make a lot of these things here in the US. By the 1990s, it was down to 40%, and now it's down to 15% is the share of U.S. semiconductor manufacturing. So we really need to bring that manufacturing back home to Michigan. And with the Bipartisan CHIPS Act that was passed last year, there's been a lot of investment. And what's really exciting is a lot of this investment by large semiconductor companies is happening right here in the Midwest. So we need thousands of engineers that are trained in electronics design and manufacturing. And so it's really a very exciting time, and the MEDC has a great timing with this grant program and to create this diverse and inclusive talent pipeline for these high-tech jobs in the semiconductor industry. And so they've made the largest investment in the history of the state to create these semiconductor training programs, not just at Wayne State University, but also the University of Michigan, Oakland University, and Washtenaw Community College.
And I think, Professor Basu, you really nailed it when you said inclusive and being able to, to go to different areas and say these are possibilities, these are areas of study for people to be able to go to that they can then lead into a job path. Do you think it is also the education of what is out there and the fact that the industry is changing so much and there are openings?
Oh, absolutely. The semiconductor industry is growing at a 6% growth rate, and that's only expected to get larger over time. And each of our partner universities have their own technical strengths, career recruitment pipelines, and specific regional impact. So this is not something that one university can do alone. It really is going to be a joint effort.
What are some of your students telling you in terms of what they're excited about when it comes to some of the technologies that are changing and the possibilities of a career path and, even 10 years down the road right now when we're looking at some of the research?
Yeah, that's a great question. I talk to a lot of the students in our department, and a lot of the students who come here domestically and even students who come internationally always talk about Detroit being the automotive capital of the world. And it really is a very exciting time to be in the automotive industry with all the things that are happening. And specifically for electrical engineering, one exciting thing is a lot of the car companies that used to hire primarily in mechanical engineers are now looking at hiring primarily electrical engineers. And this industry requires this huge diversity of skill sets, and that is great to give students of different backgrounds and different interests, different opportunities in this high-tech industry and the ability to get jobs in the future. For example, the semiconductor industry, you need chip design engineers, printed circuit board design engineers, semiconductor process engineers, and test engineers, and then you need skilled technicians who are going to be working in a lot of these advanced manufacturing facilities. So there's the excitement, I think, around students is that this industry is going to grow tremendously, and it's going to lead to a lot of very fundamental advances, not just in the automotive industry, but in biomedical, wireless communications, consumer electronics, and even up and coming things like space exploration. So it's a really exciting time for the electronics industry in Michigan.
Well, we can't wait to hear some of the programs that are coming out of the work that you're doing at Wayne State University. Professor Amar Basu, Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Wayne State. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks so much for inviting me.